Hi, I'm Samantha McDouglas from thebridgeteachers.com. Come look over my shoulder at a defense problem. On this auction, our left-hand opponent opened 3 spades, showing 7 spades and a weak hand. Our partner passed, our right-hand opponent passed, and it is our turn to bid. You may recognize this hand. We did it last week in balancing 8-21-23, where I encouraged you to make a takeout double. However, at the table, the person who held our hand passed. Our partner led the 4 of diamonds. When dummy comes down, I encourage you to make a plan. When we are on defense, you're going to have one of 2 goals. You're either going to be trying to create tricks for your side, making sure that you get all the tricks you're entitled to, or you're going to be figuring out declarer's plan to create tricks and countering them, making it impossible for them to do what they want to do. When you look at dummy, you're going to get a sense of what declarer's plan is. Do we think the declarer is going to try and trump things? Do we think the declarer is going to set up a long suit and discard? Do we think the declarer is going to finesse? Because those are the 3 ways to get rid of losers, to discard, to trump, and to finesse, those are usually the tactics the declarer is going to be using. If you can figure out what declarer's plan is, you might find a way to counter it and stop them from accomplishing it. The first clue that we have in declarer's plan is by looking at dummy. What would our plan be if we held this hand? Another way that we can get an idea of declarer's plan is by seeing the choices they make when they play. So we're going to go ahead and play a couple of tricks, and then I'm going to ask you what you would do. So pay attention. Declarer played the 8 from dummy, our hand played the ace, and declarer played the 7. We now led the jack, declarer trumped, our partner followed, and declarer followed. Now declarer drew trump, playing the ace. We followed, and now the king. So at this point in time, what do we think the situation in the spade suit is? Assuming that declarer had the 7 that they promised on the auction, all of the other hands are out. The shape of the suit was 7, 2, 2, 2. This is backed up by the fact that partner played the queen. We would not be expecting partner to play the queen under the king if they had another spade, so this leads us to believe that the remaining spades are in the west hand. How many spades are left? 4. They started with 7. They trumped a diamond. They've played 2 rounds, so they've played 3. They only have 4 left. After drawing trump, declarer led the 10 of hearts. Partner played the 5. Declarer played the 4. And we won the king. So the very first thing I want you to think about is, where is the jack of hearts? I would expect west to have the jack, and I'll tell you why. If partner had the jack, they should have played it on the 10. Since we probably have length in the suit based on the auction, covering the 10 with the jack would promote our cards and would be a good thing for partner to do. So since partner didn't cover, I'm going to assume that partner doesn't have the jack. Assuming that declarer has the jack of hearts, what do we think their plan is? To discard on the good hearts in the east hand. They actually can take 3 heart tricks now because they have the ace, the queen, and the jack. They only have 4 cards in their hands that aren't spades, and we know those aren't diamonds, so probably what's going to happen here is they're going to continue playing hearts, and then they're going to discard whatever losing clubs they have on the hearts, at least as many as they're able to do. So with this plan of declarers in mind, how are we going to counter it? We're going to counter it by leading clubs. So when you have a discarding dummy, which means dummy has the ability to play good cards where declarer isn't following suit, declarer can discard onto dummy's cards. That means that you have to attack your tricks before they go away. In other words, we have to get whatever club tricks we have coming before they go away on the hearts. We can sort of conclude that this is declarer's plan because the first thing they did after drawing trump was set up the heart suit, and they've accomplished that goal. The ace and the queen of hearts are good. We also know they have the jack. So if they have 2 hearts in their hand, they have the ability to take 3 heart tricks, and on the third one, they'll discard something. Well, what are they going to discard? A club. They're obviously not going to discard a spade. That would be trump. And we know they don't have any diamonds, so they're going to discard clubs. Even if they only have 1 heart in their hand, they can still discard. They can just overtake and play the second heart and discard. So if we have club tricks coming, we run the risk of losing them on the heart suit. So we want to attack clubs right away. You can do this by leading the ace or by leading the 2. In this situation, for safety's sake, since we know that West is probably short in clubs, I would go ahead and play the ace. Just in case they have the singleton king. We wouldn't want to lose to the singleton king. So I would go ahead and play the ace. And then lead another club. And that is how we hold this contract to 3 instead of letting them make 4. If we go back and look at the hand, you can see here that our fears are realistic. Declarer can throw away a club on the good hearts. That's our discarding dummy. Declarer can take 3 heart tricks. They only have to follow suit twice. So on that third heart trick, they get rid of a club. If we don't take both of those clubs right now, we only get one of them. In match points, this could be a very significant difference in score. And even playing socially, you want to take as many tricks as you can. The key here is identifying Declarer's plan. I'm going to set up the heart suit and then discard my losing clubs on the hearts. How do we counter discarding dummies? We do it by attacking suits where we have winners before the opponent can get rid of those losers. In this case, we do so by leading clubs. If we exit passively, because we don't want to lead away from our ace of clubs or we don't want to lead an unsupported ace, because correctly, we have heard that leading unsupported aces is bad and leading away from aces in a trump contract is bad, and these things generally are bad. And so we decide to do something passive and we lead a diamond. Declarer is going to trump, cash their jack of hearts, cash their ace of hearts, cash their queen of hearts, and discard a club. And now we have lost a trick that we should not have lost. Now the opponents are going to make 4 because they're going to lose 1 club trick and take the remaining 3 tricks with their 3 spades. So if we go back, if we go ahead and break those guidelines, don't lead unsupported aces, don't lead away from an ace in a trump contract. And again, those are good guidelines. There are strong reasons for those. They exist for a reason. They are very good things to be thinking about. But as with anything in bridge, you have to think. And there's a time and a place for those things, and then there's a time and a place where they don't belong. And here, if we don't take our 2 clubs right now, we're going to lose one of them. Whereas if we play the ace and then lead a club, now we get our 2 club tricks. Declarer only makes 3 instead of making 4. Now, on this auction, if we had made a reopening double and partner had bid 4 diamonds and the opponent's bid 4 spades over us, this would be very important because the difference between them making the game and not making the game is significant. But even here, the difference between an over trick and holding them to 3 is still important, especially in match points, can result in a big score difference. And again, why not take as many tricks as you can take? So if we go back, it is very natural to not want to lead clubs here. And I would say in most situations, it would be correct to not lead clubs. But on this hand, we have to lead clubs. So how do we know that? We know that by figuring out Declarer's plan and then thinking about how we're going to counter it. In this case, Declarer's plan was to establish the heart suit and then use the hearts to discard a club. How do we counter that? By leading clubs. If we take our 2 club tricks, they no longer have a club to discard. So when you're looking at a dummy where Declarer has a long suit that is good or going to be good, where they can discard all of their losers, it's time to take your tricks as fast as you can. Thank you. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to like and subscribe.